In this lesson, we'll begin laying out the equipment for our ground floor HVAC system. So let's get started. Okay, so now that my report is in place, I'm going to jump to my first floor plan here. And we're going to start laying out our registers for the ground floor. So you see we have our rooms separated. So I want to lay out some registers for room 1, room 3, room 4, room 5. And I'm not too concerned about room 2. Just those other rooms there. I'm going to quickly jump to a section view that I created earlier, and I highly recommend setting up a section view, especially when working with HVAC systems in a multi-level project. It makes placing elements much easier, and it makes things much more efficient and easier to work with. So as I mentioned before, we're going to be working initially in our ground floor. So we're going to have an air terminal here. I used a couple of reference planes to show where I want my air handler placed here. So it'll be placed here in the middle, and we'll have registers on the floor, and they'll be fed with ducts to supply air to our ground floor here. So to get that process going, let's jump to the ground floor. Well, first floor mechanical. And I'm going to go to systems, since we are working in the mechanical systems template. And if I want to place some air terminals here, I'm simply going to click on air terminal. Now, just like working with any other components in Revit, we're not just stuck with what we have by default. We can go to our drop down and search for several kinds. Or we can come here to the edit type, load, and actually come in here to mechanical folder and start looking for them. So I'm going to go to mechanical, MEP. I'm interested in air side components, and I want air terminals, and I'm looking for a floor mounted register. So I think they have that somewhere. The very last one. Supply register rectangular floor mounted. Perfect. Exactly what I want. So once you have the one in place we like, go ahead and select that. I can tell it's a 6-inch by 4-inch, which is perfect. Exactly what I want. All right, so now I can begin placing, but before I do, I'm going to select my work plane because I want to place that on my work plane, which is level 1. So I can begin placing my air terminals where they need to be. So I'm going to place one here, and it's just simply a matter of clicking. Just like working with any components we've been working with before in Revit. Simply place and click. I'll place one here underneath this window here. Let's see, where else can we place a couple. I can place one here, and I can also rotate it once it's in place. So I'll click on it, highlight it, rotate button. Let's go ahead and adjust him to run that direction. I think we could place another one. I'm going to use my favorite copy button here, and we'll take one more and place them up here. And let's place one in the kitchen. I know we have odd placement for the kitchen here, so we'll select this register, copy, simply clicking, copying, and placing. So we'll do the same thing here. So now that I have my registers in place, I can now set some more equipment. So what's the next piece of equipment we should set up? I think we should go ahead and set up our air handler unit. So this time, instead of air terminal, I'm actually going to go to mechanical equipment. And under mechanical equipment, you don't have to do edit type or anything because air handler will be in that properties window. I'm just going to simply go with the vertical setup here, a split system. I have enough headroom in my basements that I know that this will actually fit down there. So going with a vertical system will take up less space down below. So before I place him there, I want to make sure I get him placed on the right level. So we're going to place him on the basement floor. Perfect. So I'm going to run to my section view just to make sure what I have in place is on its correct level here. So we'll jump to section 1. So I can see that that did not get placed properly, so I can easily take this and we'll set him in an offset here. Looks like my difference of 9 feet 6 inches. So I'm going to give him an offset of negative 9 feet 6 inches. Perfect. All right, so he's there on the basement floor. And if I wanted to really get technical, I could put a pad down there and have my air handler resting on a pad, but I mainly want you to see how to get this system set up. So now I can quickly jump back to my floor plan view, and you'll notice I can't see our air handler unit. That's not a problem at all. I just need to jump to our properties browser, and let's adjust our view range really quickly. So to find view range, it's under your extents in your properties window here, and you just click on edit. And what I want to do is I want to see how far my view depth goes. So right now it's set to level 1. I want to be able to see all the way to the basement floor. That way I can see what's going on in that level when I'm setting up my equipment. Click apply, okay, and like magic, our air handler unit appears. So now that we have that in place, we're actually ready to start placing ductwork for our system here. And we'll actually jump into that in the next lesson.